Every single day when you wake up, you have a choice. The choice to live like everyone else or to live like no one else. The choice to do what is easy or to do what is necessary. The choice to be average, blending into the silent crowd of the forgotten, or to be obsessed, rising above them all to become unforgettable. People will tell you not to be obsessed. They will say it's unhealthy, it's too much, it's unnecessary. They will tell you to live a balanced life, to relax, to enjoy yourself. But these same people are the ones who wake up every morning with regret burning in their hearts because they settled for average. They chose comfort over greatness. They chose excuses over discipline. They chose temporary pleasures over permanent power. And now they live trapped in a life they never wanted, secretly resenting anyone who rises beyond them. You must understand this. Average is easy. Anyone can be average. Anyone can wake up without purpose. Anyone can work without passion. Anyone can waste time chasing distractions. Anyone can sleep longer instead of training. Anyone can eat comfort food instead of disciplined fuel. Anyone can live a life of excuses, blame, fear, and silent misery. That is what average looks like, and the world is full of it. Look around. People repeating the same days, the same habits, the same thoughts, the same weaknesses, the same regrets until their last breath. That is what you become when you are not obsessed with your growth, your goals, your discipline, your purpose. Obsession is not a curse. It is your greatest weapon. It is the fire that burns away your weaknesses. It is the fuel that keeps you moving when your body aches, when your mind is tired, when your heart feels broken. It is the force that keeps you disciplined when distractions seduce you. It is the power that keeps you training when comfort whispers for you to stop. It is the silent voice within that screams, "This is not enough." You were born for more. Without obsession, you will never achieve greatness. Without obsession, you will never build the body, the mindset, the life, or the legacy you dream of. Without obsession, you will live and die average. People fear obsession because it demands sacrifices they are too weak to make. It demands lonely nights building your dreams while others sleep peacefully. It demands waking up before dawn to train while others remain in their warm beds. It demands saying no to temporary pleasures that give you nothing in return. It demands facing rejection, failures, setbacks, betrayals, heartbreak, exhaustion, and pain with unbreakable discipline. It demands becoming a person most will never understand because their minds are too small to comprehend the hunger of a soul obsessed with greatness. But obsession will give you everything average never can. It will give you respect that cannot be bought. It will give you confidence that cannot be shaken. It will give you peace that cannot be destroyed. It will give you freedom that cannot be taken. It will give you a life so powerful, so disciplined, so meaningful, that when you die, your name will remain alive in the hearts of those who witnessed your journey. Because obsession is the force that transforms dreams into reality. It is the fire that melts excuses into action. It is the discipline that turns pain into power. It is the courage that turns failures into fuel. It is the hunger that turns your darkest nights into the birth of your strongest self. So ask yourself today, do you want to be average, living a life of silent misery, regrets, and forgotten dreams? Or do you want to be obsessed, living a life of power, freedom, purpose, and legacy? Because you cannot be both. You cannot live an average life with an obsessed mindset. You cannot build greatness with average discipline. You cannot achieve your dreams with average sacrifices. You cannot create a legacy with average work. You must choose, be obsessed or be average. Your choice today will write the story of your life forever. Average people will never understand you. They will call you crazy because your discipline reminds them of their laziness. They will call you arrogant because your confidence exposes their insecurities. They will call you obsessed because your focus makes their distractions obvious. They will hate your success because it makes their excuses meaningless. But remember, their opinions mean nothing. Their words are powerless. Their judgments are silent admissions of their own failures. Because deep inside, every average person knows they could have been more if only they had been obsessed enough to sacrifice, to discipline themselves, to endure the pain of growth instead of seeking comfort. You have to understand this truth and carry it in your soul. If you want to rise above average, you must become obsessed with your vision. You must think about it from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. It must consume your mind, your choices, your actions, your disciplines. You must feel it in your bones. Breathe it with every breath and let it burn in your chest with a fire so fierce that no setback, no rejection, no betrayal, no failure can extinguish it. Because your obsession is what will keep you alive when the world tries to bury you under its expectations, its criticisms, and its limitations. Most people are not obsessed because obsession feels lonely. It feels painful. It feels intense. It feels extreme. But what they do not realize is that an average life feels emptier, more painful, and more suffocating in the end. You may feel pain now by being obsessed with your dreams, but that pain is temporary and purposeful. The pain of an average life is permanent and meaningless. It is the pain of watching your life pass by without ever touching your potential. It is the pain of seeing others rise while you remain trapped in your own excuses. It is the pain of knowing you could have been so much more if only you had been brave enough to be obsessed. Obsession is the only way to achieve greatness. There is no balanced path to the top. There is no easy road to becoming unbreakable. There is no comfort in creating a legacy. The road to greatness is paved with sacrifices that average people will never understand. You will lose friends who do not share your vision. You will distance yourself from people whose habits keep you average. You will become uncomfortable with mediocrity because your mind will no longer tolerate anything less than excellence. You will feel alone, but that loneliness is your training ground. It is where your obsession will grow its roots, so deep that no storm can ever uproot your purpose. Becoming obsessed is not about destroying yourself with toxic overwork. It is about building yourself with disciplined focus. It is about prioritizing what matters over what feels good. It is about staying true to your purpose when temptations call you back into weakness. It is about sacrificing comfort today to build freedom for the rest of your life. It is about waking up every day with a hunger to improve, to rise, to build, to conquer your fears, to outwork your excuses, to strengthen your mind, to discipline your body, and to transform your life into something powerful, meaningful, and unbreakable. Average is easy. Obsession is hard, but so is regret. So is living a life of silent misery. So is waking up every day feeling worthless because you know you settled. You must choose your heart. The pain of obsession is temporary. The pain of an average life is eternal. Be obsessed with your dreams, your discipline, your purpose, your freedom, your legacy. Because at the end of your life, you will not remember the comforts you enjoyed. You will only remember the battles you won, the mountains you conquered, the fears you destroyed, and the dreams you built into reality with your unstoppable obsession. Not be obsessed or be average. The choice is yours. But know this, your choice today will echo for the rest of your life. When you decide to be obsessed, something changes inside you forever. You no longer care about fitting in. You no longer care about their opinions. You no longer care about temporary pleasures that keep you weak. Your mind becomes locked onto your goals with a focus so strong that distractions no longer have power over you. Your days gain meaning because every hour is driven by purpose. Your energy increases because your soul is finally aligned with what it was born to do. Your confidence becomes unshakable because you know you are becoming stronger every single day through your disciplined actions. But this journey is not easy. Obsession is not a beautiful Instagram quote or a motivational reel. Obsession is waking up before dawn when your body aches for rest. Obsession is training when your muscles scream in pain. Obsession is working when your mind feels numb from exhaustion. Obsession is studying when you would rather waste time like everyone else. Obsession is saying no to friends who want to pull you back into mediocrity. Obsession is missing parties, avoiding distractions, cutting off relationships that drain your energy, and spending lonely nights working on yourself and your vision while the world sleeps in comfort. People will call you extreme, but what they don't realize is that it takes extreme discipline to create extreme success. It takes extreme focus to build extreme results. It takes extreme sacrifices to live an extremely powerful life. The average person wants an extraordinary life with ordinary effort. They want a strong body without training like a warrior. They want financial freedom without sacrificing temporary pleasures. They want respect without building discipline. They want confidence without overcoming fears. That is why they remain average forever. But you are different. You are here listening to these words because something inside you refuses to settle. Something inside you burns with a fire that comfort cannot extinguish. Something inside you knows that you were born for greatness, that your life has a purpose beyond mediocrity, that your name was meant to carry a legacy of power, discipline, courage, and impact. But you must honor that calling with obsession, not casual effort, not half-hearted discipline, not temporary motivation, pure, unstoppable, relentless obsession. Obsession will test you every single day. It will break you down to rebuild you stronger. It will destroy your old identity to build you into someone unrecognizable to your past self. It will strip away your weaknesses to reveal your true power. And as you grow, people will distance themselves because your obsession will expose their lack of discipline. Your growth will remind them of their stagnation. Your courage will highlight their fears. Your sacrifices will show them their excuses. Let them go, because those who fear your obsession are not meant to walk with you too. Greatness, you must keep going alone if you have to, because this is your life, your dream, your destiny. No one else will feel your regret when you fail. No one else will carry your misery when you settle. No one else will die with your dreams buried inside them. Only you. That is why you must be obsessed, because your dreams deserve your full power. Your future family deserves the wealth your obsession will build. Your body deserves the strength your obsession will train. Your mind deserves the wisdom your obsession will earn. Your soul deserves the peace your obsession will create. Your name deserves the legacy your obsession will carve into history. Remember this truth. You are not born to be average. You are not born to settle. You were born to conquer yourself. You were born to destroy every limitation placed upon you by fear, excuses, society, and your own weaknesses. You were born to rise, and you can only rise through obsession. Be obsessed or be average. Your choice today will write the story that the world remembers forever. Obsession is not just about working harder. It is about thinking differently. It is about seeing opportunities where others see problems. It is about staying calm in chaos because your mind is so focused on your vision that nothing can distract you. It is about looking at pain and saying, "This will make me stronger." It is about looking at failures and saying, "This is teaching me." It is about looking at your fears and saying, "You will not control me." Obsession changes the way you see the world. While average minds see reasons to quit, An obsessed mind only sees reasons to keep going. You must program your mind to believe that obsession is the only way forward. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what your life will look like if you choose to be average. Feel that pain deeply, because that pain will keep you disciplined. Then close your eyes and visualize the life your obsession will build. The freedom, the power, the respect, the confidence, the peace, the legacy. Feel it so strongly that it pulls you through your darkest days. Because your obsession is not just for today. It is for your future. It is for your name. It is for everyone who believed in you. It is for everyone who needs your story to rise. Average people will tell you to slow down. They will say you are working too hard, thinking too deeply, training too intensely. But remember, their words are not advice. They are confessions of their own limitations. Never take advice from people who have settled. Never take opinions from those who gave up on their own dreams. Never listen to words that keep you small. Your life is too short to waste on mediocrity. Your days are too precious to waste on comfort. Your time is too limited to waste on regrets. Obsession demands a new version of you. The old you will fight to stay alive. Your old habits, your old laziness, your old excuses, your old fears. They will try to pull you back into average. Every time you wake up early to train, your mind will scream for comfort. Every time you work late into the night, your body will ache for rest. Every time you push beyond your limits, your fears will whisper for you to stop. But this is the test. This is the moment where most people quit and remain average forever. This is where your obsession must become stronger than your excuses. This is where you build the unbreakable mindset that will make you unstoppable. You have to become addicted to progress, addicted to discipline, addicted to growth, addicted to the pain that builds you, addicted to the sacrifices that separate you from the average. Because while the world sees pain as suffering, you must see it as fuel. While the world sees sacrifices as loss, you must see them as investments into your future. While the world sees obsession as madness, you must see it as your only path to freedom. Obsession will isolate you from the crowd, but it will connect you with your purpose. It will distance you from mediocrity, but it will align you with greatness. It will take away your comforts, but it will give you power beyond imagination. It will destroy your old self, but it will create a new version of you that commands respect, lives with purpose, walks with silent confidence, and builds a life so powerful that your existence becomes proof that obsession is the only way to go. Live without regret. So decide today. Are you willing to be misunderstood, criticized, judged, and alone for your obsession? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort, friendships, parties, distractions, and temporary pleasures for your dreams? Are you willing to endure pain, failures, loneliness, and exhaustion to build a life of unbreakable strength, peace, freedom, and legacy? Because that is what obsession demands. But that is also what obsession rewards. Be obsessed or be average. Your life will always reflect the choice you make today. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy is dying with your dreams still inside you, because you were too afraid to be obsessed, too afraid to stand alone, too afraid to sacrifice comforts that were destroying you silently, too afraid to become the person you were born to be. That is what happens when you choose average. You die before your body ever stops breathing. Your soul withers under the weight of wasted potential. Your heart beats only to keep you alive, not to make you feel alive. Your mind drowns in regrets and silent misery, because deep down, you know you settled for less than what you were capable of. Obsession is what keeps your spirit alive. It gives your life meaning beyond the ordinary. It transforms each day into a battlefield where you conquer your weaknesses, train your mind, build your body, and strengthen your soul. It turns your actions into rituals that build power within you. Waking up early is no longer a struggle. It becomes your honor. Training hard is no longer a chore. It becomes your therapy. Working relentlessly is no longer an obligation. It becomes your purpose. Discipline is no longer punishment. It becomes your identity. This is what average people will never understand. They think obsession is suffering. But for the obsessed, suffering is not choosing obsession. Because living an average life, when you know you were born for greatness, is the worst suffering a human can endure. Watching yourself become weaker, older, sadder, and more hopeless every year because you refuse to act with obsession is a pain no temporary comfort can ever heal. And one day, you will sit alone with your thoughts, remembering all the times you chose comfort over discipline, distractions over focus, fear over courage, and you will feel a regret so heavy that your soul will sink under its weight. That is what you must avoid at all costs. You must build your life like a warrior builds his armor. Every discipline, every sacrifice, every focused hour, every training session, every sleepless night working on your vision is another piece of armor, protecting you from weakness, regret, mediocrity, and insignificance. Obsession builds you into a force that nothing can break. Failures become lessons. Pain becomes fuel. Rejections become redirections. Betrayals become awakenings. Setbacks become setups for your next rise. Because an obsessed mind never sees obstacles as barriers. It sees them as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more unbreakable. Average people will never live this way. Their days revolve around entertainment, gossip, distractions, and pleasure. Their goals remain unfulfilled, dreams floating in their minds with no discipline to build them. Their bodies remain weak because they refuse the pain of training. Their minds remain fragile because they refuse the pain of learning. Their lives remain small because they refuse the pain of growth. And yet, they laugh at those who are obsessed, calling them mad, intense, extreme. But what they do not realize is that their laughter is rooted in fear. Because deep inside, they know your obsession is building a life they secretly wish they had the courage to create. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand you. Because one day, the same people who call you obsessed will call you lucky. They will say you were blessed, favored, chosen. But you will know the truth, that none of this was luck. It was your obsession. It was your discipline. It was your sacrifices when no one was watching. It was your silent battles in the darkest nights. It was your focus when others were distracted. It was your hunger when others were satisfied. It was your courage to choose obsession over average every single day, So decide today. Who will you be? The one who chose comfort and became nothing? Or the one who chose obsession and became everything they were born to be? Because at the end of this life, your possessions, pleasures, and distractions will not matter. What will matter is the person you became, the dreams you built, the lives you changed, and the legacy you left behind. Be obsessed or be average. There is no other choice. There will come a day when your body feels like it cannot move another step, when your mind screams for rest, when your emotions beg for comfort, when your heart questions why you are sacrificing so much. That is the day you must remember this truth. Obsession is not a choice you make only when it feels easy. Obsession is a commitment you keep, even when everything inside you wants to quit. Because greatness is built not in moments of motivation, but in moments of exhaustion, when you continue moving forward despite having every reason to stop. Average people live by feelings. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel afraid, they quit. If they feel bored, they get distracted. If they feel pain, they run away. That is why their lives remain small. They let their feelings control their actions. But obsessed people let their commitments control their actions. Feelings are temporary. Commitments are eternal. That is why obsessed people build legacies, while average people build regrets. When you live obsessed, you no longer need motivation to act. You are driven by discipline, by purpose, by a hunger so fierce that no lack of motivation can stop you. Motivation is for those who want to feel good before acting. Obsession is for those who act no matter how they feel because they know their actions will create a life that feels better than any temporary comfort could ever give them. Understand this deeply. Average is crowded. The world is full of people who do just enough to survive, who work just enough to keep their jobs, who train just enough to avoid health problems, who think just enough to get through the day. But greatness is empty. The higher you rise, the fewer people you will see beside you, because every level of greatness demands a deeper level of obsession, and most people are unwilling to pay that price. They want what greatness brings without, enduring what greatness demands. That is why your obsession is your gift. It separates you from the crowd. It pulls you out of mediocrity. It makes you do what others refuse to do, and that is what gives you a life others will never experience. When you choose obsession, you choose pain now for peace later. You choose sacrifices now for freedom later. You choose discipline now for unbreakable confidence later. You choose loneliness now for respect later. You choose discomfort now for a legacy that lives long after you are gone. People will never understand why you wake up before dawn, why you train when you are tired, why you work when others are relaxing, why you sacrifice pleasures that they worship. They will never understand because their minds are too weak to comprehend your vision. Let them remain in confusion. Your purpose is not to convince them. Your purpose is to build your life so powerfully that one day your results speak louder than any words ever could. Your obsession is your power. Every day you feed it with discipline, it grows stronger. Every day you feed it with sacrifices, it grows hungrier. Every day you feed it with courage, it grows fiercer. Until one day, your obsession becomes who you are. You no longer have to think about discipline because it has become your nature. You no longer have to force yourself to work because building your dreams is what gives you life. You no longer have to push yourself to train because your body craves the pain that makes it stronger. You no longer have to chase confidence because your confidence is built in the dark. Moments of silent sacrifices when no one was watching. This is the life of the obsessed. It is not easy. It is not comfortable. It is not normal. But it is worth it. Because when your final day comes, you will close your eyes with peace, knowing you gave everything you had, knowing you became everything you could, knowing you left behind a legacy of discipline, courage, and unbreakable spirit. Not be obsessed or be average. In the end, that is the only choice that will ever matter. As you stand here now, reading these words, know this: life will never hand you greatness on a silver platter. It will never gently guide you toward your dreams. Life is indifferent. It will challenge you, push you down, test your limits, and force you to choose who you want to be every single day. The only way to win this battle is with obsession, with an unrelenting hunger that refuses to be satisfied by anything less than your absolute best. To be obsessed is to live with fire in your veins, a relentless purpose burning in your heart, and a discipline so sharp it cuts through every excuse. It means choosing pain over pleasure, sacrifice over comfort, and hard work over easy distractions. It means turning your back on the voice of doubt, the whispers of fear, and the comfort of the crowd, because your vision is bigger than all of them combined. You will face moments when your body screams for rest, when your mind begs for escape, when your soul cries out in loneliness. Those are the moments that separate the obsessed from the average. The average stop. The obsessed push harder. The average wait for motivation. The obsessed act in spite of it. The average settle for less. The obsessed refuse to live anything less than legendary. This path is not for the faint-hearted. It will cost you relationships. It will cost you leisure. It will cost you the approval of many. But what it will give you is priceless. It will give you a life of power, freedom, and unshakable confidence. It will build a mind that cannot be broken, a body that cannot be defeated, and a spirit that cannot be silenced. It will create a legacy so strong that your name will echo through generations, inspiring those who dare to dream beyond the limits of comfort. Remember, obsession is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about never failing. It's about refusing to quit. It's not about living a life without struggle. It's about choosing to fight through every battle with every ounce of your being. Every step you take in obsession builds a foundation that no storm can destroy. Every sacrifice you make carves your name deeper into the annals of greatness. Every moment you resist comfort strengthens your will and sharpens your focused doubt. So, ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to endure the struggle? Are you willing to stand alone when the world chooses comfort? Because this is the crossroads where your future is decided. The road to average is crowded, easy, and safe, but it leads only to regret. The road of obsession is lonely, hard, and demanding, but it leads to greatness. Choose obsession. Choose greatness. Choose a life where your dreams are not just fantasies, but unstoppable realities. A life where you wake up every day with purpose, passion, and the unbreakable will to become more. A life where you look in the mirror and see, not just who you are, but who you have fought to become. This is your moment. This is your fight. Be obsessed or be average. There is no other way. Your legacy starts today.